Today we got another retention Reddit story. 1 year retention story, how to have the best year ever. I've been wanting to make this post for a while. It's good to finally be at this point. I must confess here before going further, January through September clean, October through December on 3 occasions he reset. More about this later. I've made posts about my journey before, but man, the benefits don't stop. Even when we get stuck in our heads and go through flatlines, things are still working. So yeah, I want to touch up on that real quick before we go into the next part. So you will hit flatlines. You're gonna feel like, hey, my benefits are gone. I don't even see the point of doing retention. And honestly, your benefits are still there. It's just you kind of got used to them. Think about it, when you eat junk food and you continue eating junk food, your body gets used to pulling all its resources from junk food, and then you start eating clean and you're like, it doesn't taste as good, and then you train yourself to eat clean. After that clean stage, you go back to junk food and you're like, it's not that tasty, it doesn't taste as good, and your body realizes it's not good for you and all that. Essentially, you'll go into this flat line and you're gonna be like, oh, okay, where are my benefits? And you feel like you don't have any, and they're still there until you reset and you're like, whoa, my benefits were there. And then that's when you realize the recipe for success in life: faith, patience, and consistent action. I truly believe on all three of those. To anyone on this journey of retaining, I take my hat off to you, because it's by far the hardest thing I have ever done. However, it's also most rewarding. Then he goes on to meditation. This comes first. If you are retaining and not meditating, then you will not unlock the next level of growth. The mental clarity, patience, resilience, endurance, peace, bliss are too great to sacrifice for just 20 minutes a day. Some days I'm going up to 2 hours of meditation, and it's great. I'm reminded of a quote from Martin Luther King: I have gotten so much to do today. I'm going to need to spend another hour on my knees. This lets you know that the quiet time we spend with ourselves and the big guy is what gives us the strength to do what is necessary. Health. Physically, I'm in the best shape ever, able to lift weights. I could have only imagined, and even become vegetarian for a few months. Highly recommend you don't become vegetarian. That's personal opinion. I'm not gonna really debate on that, but I seen the importance of having meat in your diet. It actually really helps you out with your physique. I seen somebody that was on a vegan diet and they were exercising, and then somebody that was just doing a straight carnivore diet, and there's a huge difference in muscle mass. So honestly, if you're weightlifting, you would probably want that protein. I know people diss on it, that it's not healthy for you and all that. It's to each their own. I'm not going to go into that in this video, but I would say at least have a good combination of a little bit of everything. It doesn't hurt. Anything in moderation isn't bad for you. Too much of anything is actually bad for you. Anyways, I eat meat rarely now, and have found that I actually prefer a vegetarian diet. This is very strange for me, and it happened very naturally. I'm not saying you shouldn't eat meat. Be conscious of what you put in your body. The outside is a reflection of the inside. Take care of yourself. That's very beautiful. The outside is a reflection of the inside. So yeah, I do agree with that. Exercise is essential unless you're willing to boost up your meditation to help with the excess energy. You will have a lot of force within you. Not using it on productive things is what leads to relapse. And honestly, it's very true on that. That's the most difficult part, is not being determined, not being focused, not using your time productively. It is going to lead to a reset. You're going to be like, oh, okay, well, I have some extra free time on my hands. Or you're just using social media and you're scrolling through it, and you're not consciously thinking about your mission and your goals. So it does lead to a reset. I'm pretty sure the vast majority of you guys can honestly agree. Mindset. This is probably where I've seen the biggest change. I'm really not the person I used to be. I don't think how I used to. My entire life philosophy has changed. Instead of thinking a few hours ahead, I'm now thinking 5, 10, 20 years. This delayed gratification is extremely rewarding. It allows you to relax and realize everything is a process, which is true. Everything does take time. Of course, you can't think about things so far ahead just because things currently, they're constantly changing, and I realized this on my current injury, which I went through surgery. I was expecting to go to a couple of concerts with my girlfriend, but obviously I wasn't able to go to them just because I had to get my surgery done. So there's certain things you can't see too far ahead. You can try planning your future as best as possible and try imagining it the best way. You should always strive to hit one of those goals, but sometimes life takes you a different lesson, so a different road. I now appreciate the idea of mastery and becoming world class at what I do over the long term. I can afford to mess up and make mistakes because I'm doing this for life and not a few days or weeks. I've also quit smoking, drinking, bad friends, pointless dating, excess social media usage, and more. I appreciate my mind and value clarity. I try as hard as I can to remove all unnecessary noise from my life and focus on what really matters. Meditation probably caused this. One thing I will throw in, and I have seen other guys bring this up in the bravery aspect. All my life I knew I wanted to be a successful business owner, a world-renowned entrepreneur. However, I lack self-belief. Society, family, friends, enemies, everyone told me it's unrealistic, which honestly, nobody wants to see you succeed. There's very few people out there that want to see you succeed and really like grow and make it big. And I'll tell you guys this on a personal note, like of course you'll have family like supporting you, but of course like there's times where you're like, you know, deep down they're like, hey, what are you gonna make of your life or whatever. The other one that's really supportive is my girlfriend, and what's really shocking me is the YouTube community. Like there's people that comment down in my comments, hey, make this a little bit better, make your video like the audio a little bit lower, make your videos more interesting or whatever. So I know there's people that want to see me succeed, and it's random strangers on the internet. It's not like my friends or any, like people don't want to see you doing better, and that's the sad reality. Just fall in line and do what the rest of us are doing. This year, after really tapping into myself and realizing I am blessed to even know what I want in life when so many don't, I have begun my pursuit. I launched a business in 2017, however, was still living a pretty reckless life and wasting a lot of my seed. This year, I relaunched and I'm a few months in. I have seen a massive change in the way people react to my business. I'm recognized and respected. People appreciate you doing your best. I have made a few hundreds doing it in less than 3 months. I have seen more progress than I saw in 2 years. So it shows that there's a huge progress. He's making progress. I'm gonna try reading this a little bit faster because my camera battery is actually going out. So I'm gonna just read the attraction part and then leave it there. I feel like I cannot mention female attraction. It's one of no value to me, and it's actually a bit of a distraction, but man, the changes are ridiculous. When I first started nofap in 2015, it was because I wanted more female attention. In 2019, as a retainer, I find myself trying to avoid situations with females because my friendliness is taken the wrong way. I don't want a relationship. I am committed to becoming the best version of myself, and unless I find a woman who can work around that I am fine alone. I used to frown upon those guys who would say women were evil, but honestly, I don't blame them. If you didn't work hard on developing yourself, would those women want you? And he's very true. So obviously, he's doing dieting, exercise, and I would assume this guy's probably in decent shape, and that's when you notice the most female attraction is when you practice retention and you are in good shape. Of course, his main reason for starting it was the female attraction, but then it shifted, and that is very relatable to me just because when I learned about it, one of the benefits, like you watch these timeline videos, I was like, oh, okay, well, what's the purpose of practicing retention? And watch the benefits. I'm like, oh, there's female attraction, want to see if it works. And before you know it, you try it for at least a month or two, and then you notice a difference, and you're like, oh, okay, well, then after a while, you're like, whatever, big deal.